Hold up. Did Phil Spencer just have a pretty long interview where he talked about the Xbox Series X and its launch? He talked about first-party games and about price and of course the power that's inside the next generation Xbox. All of that stuff is pretty awesome and is worth talking about, and honestly there's a lot of information in this interview. But there's one particular section about this interview that gets me most excited, and it's the confidence that Phil Spencer has when he talks about the comparisons versus the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 consoles. He talks about specs, price, which he seems to think the Xbox has a huge advantage in. So while everything in this interview was pretty telling as to the future of the console, and I might talk about it in more depth in a later video, I wanted to talk about what I think about all of this and how I think Xbox came into this next generation ready to win. You might ask why I think that. Well, it's because Phil Spencer is exuding some major confidence, and after the specs of both consoles came out, he has every right to. So let's get into this article and this interview and talk about how Xbox has basically beat Sony at their own game. But before we do that, like always, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, enough of that. Let's dive into this because I think that Xbox has truly outplayed Sony in many ways. Do I think Xbox is going to go into this next generation the same way they did last generation? No, of course not. And anyone that thought that is just not paying close attention. Because for a long time, Xbox has been laying down the foundation to make this next generation one of the best they've ever had. And they're going to come out of the gate ready to make the Xbox Series X into a success story, especially when it's still on track to launch this holiday season 2020. Here's what the article starts off by saying. Today, IGN's Ryan McCaffrey released a new Unlocked podcast featuring Xbox head Phil Spencer. A lot of new details were revealed, but the biggest news from the interview was the fact that the Xbox Series X is still on track. The supply chain in China is coming back after the outbreak ravaged the nation. The console hardware is still on track. If there is any delay, it'll be related to software, but Spencer doesn't think that's likely. So to start this off, we know that the consoles have the potential of being delayed because of recent events, but it's starting to look like the Xbox Series X is in a good position to launch on the date they planned for. The only concern is that the software side might be a reason for the console to be delayed, which Phil Spencer himself says is not likely to happen. To me, this screams that they're very confident in the hardware and that there's not going to be a problem with the Xbox Series X on the hardware side, which if you've been paying attention lately is not the same story with Sony's PlayStation 5. The rumor of the PlayStation 5 overheating has been circulating, and if Sony doesn't address it soon, it could turn into something bad for them on the marketing side. But that's not even the best part about this interview. What really stood out is when Phil Spencer was asked about the specifications of both consoles. Here's what the article has to say and what Phil Spencer himself had to say. Spencer was also asked about how he felt when the PlayStation 5, Ps5 specifications were revealed a few days ago. Spencer said that he felt even better. The Xbox Series X has a more powerful CPU and GPU than Sony's machine, as well as other advantages when it comes to generating visuals. We already know that the Xbox Series X is the most powerful console hands down, but what we never heard before is an executive like Phil Spencer admitting that they felt great about their position when compared to the competition. Now, of course, they talked about aiming to be the most powerful console in the world and how they wanted to provide that type of exclusive power to the Xbox console players. But it's great to hear Phil Spencer admit he feels better about the Xbox Series X after seeing the PlayStation 5 specs. Here's what Phil Spencer had to say. When we saw the public disclosure, I felt even better about the choices that we made on our platform. And I kind of expected that I would. The hardware team that did Xbox One X, I have a lot of confidence in them. If I give them the time and the targets to go hit, I just believe in their ability to create. Man, that's one confident Xbox executive if I've ever seen one. Don't get me wrong, he talks about feeling better about the choices they made for the Xbox Series X, but he also says that he kind of expected that it would, because of the confidence he has in the hardware team within Xbox. And how could he not have confidence in them? They just released the Xbox One X console almost 3 years ago, and it's such a great piece of hardware. It runs smoothly and is very quiet at the same time. Even with all that power, it just runs quiet. So when you have a hardware team like that in your corner, of course you're going to feel confidence in the next console they make. Xbox has obviously worked closely with AMD, developers, engineers to make one of the best consoles they could have. And Phil Spencer does say they went for a certain spec target and that they were able to hit that spec target, which to me is one of the most important things about this console. Phil Spencer has said before they didn't go to the engineering team and give them a box and said make it work. No, instead they said, here's the specs we want to go, make the console and design it any way you want, just make sure it runs. But make sure you meet these specifications. That's how you build a console that can stand the test of time, but also give the Xbox brand a console they can stand behind, and give developers a machine they can create great games on. So it's great to hear the confidence that Phil Spencer is talking with, but it's also great to know that we as gamers can actually afford it, which is something that Phil Spencer in the article brings up here. Here's what's said. Spencer is also confident about the price point the company's targeting for the Xbox Series X, but no new information was revealed. The pricing should be revealed later this summer as we get closer to launch. Phil Spencer says, I feel good about the price we'll be able to get. I feel good about the price and performance capabilities that we have with the Xbox Series X. I feel incredibly strong about the overall package. We think it's a winning plan. We're going to make sure we stay agile in our pricing. This sounds pretty interesting because it doesn't sound like the price is going to be set in stone just yet. I believe they're waiting for Sony to reveal a little bit more about their price point for the PlayStation 5, especially since he says they're going to stay agile on the pricing. The only reason he would say that is because they want to compete in price with their competitors, which a lot of people think they aren't going to do, but honestly, with the way everything is going, I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox tries to make the price point of the console as close as possible. Do I think they'll match the price of the PlayStation 5? No, I don't, because their console is far more powerful, which in turn causes it to be a little more expensive. Either way, I can't wait to see the price of both consoles because I think with the amount of performance we'll get from both consoles, I think we'll be blown away with the price. And Xbox seems to be one step ahead of Sony at every turn when it comes to the marketing their new console. Every single time they have an interview or when they talk about the future of Xbox, everyone has a very concise and direct message. It's like all of Xbox is behind this plan for the next generation and they believe in it. It's a great juxtaposition of Sony's message and the silence we've heard for a long time. Not to mention not revealing a lot of their console and everyone just keeping quiet. Either way, Xbox has been coming out swinging and it's great to see them take the Xbox brand to new heights. Let's hope they can keep this up because I feel like Sony's going to come and start swinging themselves. I really do think Xbox can weather the storm though. But let me know what you think about all this. Is Xbox outsmarting Sony? Do you think they are prepared for anything the PS5 will throw at them? What can Sony do to turn the tide of hype their way? What launch titles do you want to see on the Xbox Series X? Do you agree with the hype that's surrounding Xbox right now? What else could Phil Spencer have said to get you even more excited for the next generation console? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. I just finished Doom Eternal. The game was insane. I recommend everybody to go check that out. And now I'm starting to play a little bit of a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, trying to beat it through Veteran, which is a little tough. But, you know, I just wanted something a little chill to play through. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.